To create a form in Google Docs, you need to go over to your Google Drive, drive.google.com. Once you sign in, you'll see your files. This icon is a form. Every time you create a form, you'll get the responses in a spreadsheet. That icon's the spreadsheet. So I'm going to say create, and I want to create a form. And when you do, it's going to give you some options for how people have to be signed on. I don't want to require an Archdiocese of Newark Google ID. If I had it within my Archdiocese of Newark Google set, I could automatically collect their username. I can show a progress bar at the bottom of the form if I have many pages. I can choose only one response per person, and I can shuffle the question order. Usually I leave all that off. The name of the form is going to be Test to Show Questions, and the description is whatever you want. I put a quote from Peter Drucker in December. I'm just going to say this is a test form. It gives you one preset question, and the question title is what the person's going to see. Help is some additional information. And you have a whole lot of different types. Text is a short text answer. Paragraph text is longer. Multiple choice gives you one choice. Checkboxes gives you multiple choice. You could choose from a list, make a scale, and so on. Generally, I don't use these bottom entries. So what I want to do is I want to start with a multiple choice. And I'm going to, whenever I give a rating, I always had learned from when I was working in a marketing firm that you only use 4 choices: excellent, good, fair, or poor. That way they can't choose a middle of the road answer. So I might say, how do you like using Google Forms? This is a Google form. And it's going to be multiple choice. My first choice is going to be excellent. My next choice is going to be good. My next choice is going to be fair. My last choice is going to be poor. And if I had some reason, I could add other. Advanced settings, you could shuffle the option order. I never use that. And then you could make this a required question or not. When a person sees a required question, they're going to see a star next to it. I'm done with this question, and now I'm going to add another item. So this item is going to be just a short text. I'm going to say, what is your name? And in the additional help text, please type your first and last name. It will be text, short answer. Again, under advanced settings, there can be validation of your data. I never use that. I'm going to require that. I'm going to say done. Another type of question you might want to have is a paragraph text. Please tell me why you chose your response to question 1. And the help text is going to say, why do you feel that way about Google Forms? There's their longer answer. Under advanced settings, again, some data validation. I'm going to require that, and I'm done. And finally, I'm going to give some check boxes. So, tell me about the types of websites you use for formative assessment. And the first checkbox I'm going to say is Socrative. Then I'm going to say Plickers. Then I'm going to say Kahoot. And Today's Meet. And then in this case, I'm going to add the other category. And I'm also going to give a choice of none. so they haven't used any of that. Under advanced settings, again, data validation, and I could shuffle the order. I don't ever bother with those. I'm going to require this question and I'm done. I'm just going to add one little option here. I don't really ever use choose from a list, but let's give it a try. Does this form make sense? Choose from a list, yes, no, maybe. I'm not going to require that question. I'm going to say done. Now, let's say that I just want to offer this to people to use, and then we'll see how to edit it. So to offer this for people to use, some confirmation things, you could have a message at the end, your response has been recorded, or you can change that, thank you for giving me your answers, whatever you want to say. You can show a link to submit another response if you wanted to have multiple people change seats and fill in the next one. You can, but I never do, publish and show a link so that people can see all this form responses. And also, I usually allow responders to edit responses after they submit. And I don't usually submit another response. Once you say send form, it's going to give you that link to share. So I'm going to just say done for a moment. Usually what I'll do is I'll go to the live form view to see how I like it. This is what it's going to look like. We're not actually taking it right now. So our excellent, good, fair, poor. How do you like Google Forms? This is a Google form. What's your name? Please type your first and last name, and so on. And this is what the drop-down list looks like. Now, this is what I'm going to copy and send to everybody. So I'm going to edit, copy that. Usually these are such awful long forms that what I'll do is I'll go to a new tab and use a website called tinyurl, which what it does is shortens the long address into something tinier. So I'm going to paste in the link for the whole Google form. If I just say make tiny URL, it's going to squeeze it down here to something smaller that you can give somebody. And then when I make an email, I'd say please use this link. And so let's just we'll open up Word for a second and pretend that we're in email. So please take this form, and then I'll give that link. Now you'll notice that sometimes I'll have a custom word here instead of just a random set of letters and numbers. So I could paste, whoops, that's the old one. I could copy this URL again, make a new tiny URL, but down here customize it. So let's try an sample link. And then when I say make tiny URL, if nobody's ever used that before, it's going to give me that as my tiny URL shortcut and sample link. So in my email or whatever, when I say please take this form, it's going to be tinyurl / and sample link.